Hi guys, it's Kayla Eldridge again. I am just back to talk to you about learning how to take care of the equipment that comes with a student with hearing impairment. So, all students with hearing impairment will get a hearing aid care kit. The kit comes with an air blower that will help to get moisture out of the tubing, a cleaning tool that will help brush dirt and debris off the microphone or remove wax from the tubing, a battery checker to make sure the battery is working that day, a listening scope for you to check the sound of the hearing aid, a cleaning cloth to wipe away any sweat, dirt, anything else that's on the aid, and a dry aid kit to help remove moisture in case the hearing aid gets wet. Sometimes the hearing aid kit or dry aid kit will be kept in the nurse's office or in another classroom. All students also will get a hearing aid logbook inside of a folder. This shows our compliance with the law that the technology is being checked and monitored. In this folder, you're going to get a back to school newsletter, which is a flyer about hearing loss with my contact information. You will get a hearing aid log to log the hearing and technology checks and repair sheets to be sent home with the student as needed. If the hearing aid, you will need to check it daily. First, check to see if the student is wearing the hearing aid. If not, ask where the hearing aid is at. If this is a repeat problem with the child not wearing the hearing aid, be sure to notify the parents and the audiologist. Next, you need to cup your hand over the hearing aid to see if you hear an audible squeal. If there is not a squeal, you will need to troubleshoot the aid. If there is a squeal, the aid is working, and you can mark that in the logbook. If the aid is not working and you need to do some troubleshooting, you can follow these directions. First, is the battery dead? Check it with the battery checker. If it's dead, go ahead and replace it. If it's not, go to step 2. Does the aid work without the ear mold? The hearing aid and the ear mold can be taken apart at the ear hook. If the hearing aid works without the ear mold in place, then we know that it's a problem with the ear mold. The ear mold tubing could be blocked with wax or it could be cracked. Either of those things, if you can't get the wax out that's blocking it, or if it is indeed cracked, you will need to contact the audiologist. If it's not and the aid isn't working with the ear mold detached from it, then you need to check and see, is there moisture in the ear mold or is there moisture in the hearing aid? If there is, you can put the hearing aid and the ear mold in the dry kit, taking the battery out first, or you can blow the ear mold out with the air blower. If there's not moisture that you can see, you need to make sure and call the audiologist or the parents to make sure the hearing aid gets repaired. You can use the listening scope in the care kit to listen weekly for sound quality. So what you do is you take the hearing aid and where the ear mold is at, the part that goes into the ear, you put that on the end of the listening scope. And then as you hold the hearing aid microphone up towards your mouth, you're going to do the Ling 6 sounds. Those sounds are ah, oo, e, sh, s, and Then you're going to note any problems in the logbook. You're checking for any cracking in the sound, any static, or if the hearing aid doesn't pick up a specific sound, you need to note that. You'll get used to the way that the hearing aid is supposed to sound, and you'll know if it sounds different, that there's a problem that needs to be dealt with. And if there is a problem, you need to contact the parent or the audiologist. Now we're going to begin talking a little bit about the hearing assistive technology that might be used with your student with hearing impairment. There are several parts to a system, so we'll talk about each one and kind of what you need to do with them each day. First, we have the microphone or the transmitter. It could be a touch screen as seen in the first picture. It could be an Inspiro as seen in the second picture, or it could be a handheld pass microphone as seen in the third picture. This is your input for the sound. The touch screen has two modes: teacher mode when it's worn around the neck, and group mode when it's set flat on a table. Remember, if you don't have a pass microphone, you need to repeat what's being said by the other students in your classroom to ensure full engagement by the student with hearing impairment. The power button is indicated by the blue arrows. It's on the top right side, if it's facing you, of the touch screen. It's a slide button on the top of the Inspiro, and it's a push button, I believe, on the microphone itself. The next part of the hearing assistive technology is the receiver. This is the little silver piece with the three prongs that's shown in the top left picture. And it could hook directly into the hearing aid. That's how it's hooked in with that black and silver aid that's right below it. Or it may need to have an audio shoe adapter to fit on the hearing aid. That's what you see with that blue aid. That's that little clear piece in the middle is the shoe or the adapter. That's a separate piece that slides in to the hearing aid if it needs to be done. So just the silver receiver just pops those three prongs in. The audio shoe adapter, you actually have to slide it in where the battery door is at. Or the student may use a streamer with the hearing aid, such as with a Baha or a bone conduction hearing aid, and that's where we actually hook the receiver into the bottom of the streamer, and then the streamer connects wirelessly via Bluetooth with the hearing aid itself. The last way could be the tower that sits in the classroom. In all of these cases, the receiver collects the sound from the transmitter or the microphone, and then the sound is sent to the user via a speaker, either in the hearing aid or on the tower. The streamer power button is at the top, and the tower power button is at the bottom. And then the power button on the hearing aids is just the battery door being closed typically. The next step is you're going to need to sync the transmitter to the receiver. In the touchscreen system, you hit the connect button that's shown there with the blue arrow. If you're using an Inspiro system, you'll actually use the button that's right below where it says sync, and that's marked with the green arrow there in the picture. Either way, that's what helps them to talk to each other. You're also going to need to do an FM listening check to make sure that the system or tower system is working daily. This can be accomplished by standing at least 4 feet from the student and asking them a question that requires an answer other than yes or no. Switch it up so that it's not the same thing every day. So you may say, what color is my shirt? Or say the word hot dog, or pat yourself on the head, touch your toes, things like that, just so that you make sure that they're actually understanding what it is that you're saying. Some younger students, it might even be having them point to those Ling 6 sounds that we talked about earlier. And then you're going to note the results of that listening check in the hearing aid log underneath FM system, either satisfactory or unsatisfactory. The student may have some accessories to use as well. In that first, in the bottom right-hand picture, there is the picture of an audio cord, and that is what is going to replace headphones for these kids. They can't put their headphones over hearing aids, or it doesn't sound very good when they do. So they can take that audio cord, plug it in wherever the headset of the earbuds would normally go, and then they plug the other end of it into the bottom of the FM system, and then that will transmit whatever's being said via computer or iPad or whatever it is that they're working with into that FM system so that they can hear that via the hearing aids. some of our students only have one hearing aid, and in those cases we do have some headphones that can be worn over the one good ear, and then the FM system would transmit into the other ear via their FM system and hearing aid. For that, you would need a cord, the audio cord like at the bottom, except for that it would have a splitter on it, so you would have 3 plugs on it instead of just the 2. Remember during the day that technology cannot work without you using it, so you need to make sure and allow the student to utilize the accessories and use that pass microphone if you've got one, or repeat what is being said by the other students. At the end of the day, you need to make sure to charge the equipment, so you're going to plug in the microphone to the wall just like you would a cell phone. You're not going to overcharge these, so they can stay plugged in over Christmas break or any of that over the weekend, and that's just fine. They're not going to have any problem with that. And you also are going to want to make sure that the students take off that receiver before they're going home, and it can be kept in that little dry aid cup or in the box that's in the hearing aid kit. You need to make sure that they do that because this is expensive equipment and we want it to stay at school unless it's otherwise arranged. One other thing, while I've got this picture up that I don't think I mentioned earlier, the mute button on these, on the touch screen, you could see it's right there. It's just a button that you push at the bottom of the unit, and it's got that microphone with a slash through it. That will actually blink red when it's muted, so that you can visually look down and know that you have the system muted. If it's green, then that means that you're streaming into the child's ear, so it's a pretty easy system to be able to look at. On the Inspiro system there on the left, it's the top middle button that has a microphone picture, and then it displays actually on the little display on the front up towards the top left hand side of the screen. It'll show you either the microphone or the microphone with a line in it to let you know whether or not that one is muted or not. So again, if you have any questions, you can give me a call at 316-494-1656, or you can email me at any of my 3 district emails. And I appreciate your time and attention today. Enjoy your school year. Thank you.